All right. Hello. Hi, everyone. I'm so excited. Today's a really exciting day. We are doing an amazing training coming up in just a few hours, and I cannot wait to share this with you. We're doing a really cool framework on how to scale past those, really like 5 to 15K months. So really, really excited for that. Okay. Hopefully this is live. Okay. So yes, we have a lot of exciting things coming up. I'm also going to answer some Etsy questions for you. If you have any questions, this morning it was a very busy day. I don't know if you all know about the Creative Lab Summit that is happening right now. I am very excited. I'm speaking in that tomorrow, but if you haven't heard about it, it's really cool. It's really all about coming up with great ideas for really focused, I would say, a little bit more on digital products. So if you are in the digital space, this is a free summit that you should totally be attending. I'm going to share my screen so you can see it. Oh man, how do I get back? Oh, good. Okay. Hi guys. Hi in the chat. Hello. Okay. So the Creative Lab Summit, Digital Product Creation Lab, that's what it's really called. And it's free. Okay. I'm going to put it in the chat so you can see it. But it's so exciting. And tomorrow, oh my gosh, I'm at the top. Okay. I am going to be talking about, there we go, making your digital products look trendy in 2025 without starting from scratch. So if your digital products are looking old, outdated, maybe a little bit 2018 Pinterest vibes, you need to come to this, okay? This is tomorrow. I hope to see you there. I'm also going to be on one of their speaking panels in the morning, 8 o'clock Pacific time. So definitely come. Everyone's invited. And they have some really great speakers lined up here. And it's totally free. So you absolutely should go. The person who runs this is Eden. She's really a sweetheart. She is a mom. She has great relatable content too. So yeah, definitely attend. And then what I'm really, really excited for is 4 o'clock Pacific time today. Who is free at 4 o'clock Pacific time? Let me know in the chat if you are available. And if you would like to make minimum $25,000 a month on Etsy, because we have something very, very special for you. Okay, let me make this a little bigger. Okay, so you can see it better. So it's really all about how my 3-step playbook to get unstuck from those kind of like $5,000 to $15,000 months, really to expand into those like $25,000 months and way beyond. So there are 3 steps that I'm going to be taking you through on this training, and these are like that. These are the exact strategies that we are using with our top sellers inside of our playbook. It's completely free. And it's 4 o'clock Pacific. So it starts in 2 hours, you guys. I will put this link in the chat. But I really hope to see you there. So all you do is you click on this link. It's a long link, right? I think something got a little long for some reason, but this is today, and then there's an option for tomorrow morning. Now, if you can do it for today, and if you don't make it, we'll send you the link for the one tomorrow. But we are going to be diving into all sorts of really helpful things, 3 steps to really scale beyond 25K a month. So 4 o'clock, and it's going to be about an hour, I would say, but it's a free training. Never have done a training on this before. Most of my trainings have been really about like beginners, people who maybe don't know what to sell or how to get started on Etsy. But this one is really, if you have a shop and you're wanting to get to that type of level, there are 3 keys that I've identified that will help you get there. So that is exciting. Any questions about Etsy? I'd be happy to jump in. Okay. Because I don't know about you guys, but I found that when you're growing your business, especially if you have another job and maybe your Etsy shop hasn't totally replaced your income, or maybe you are just a little nervous. Maybe it's replaced your income, but you're a little bit nervous to fully give it up. It can get really overwhelming, and you can be working so much in your business instead of on your business, and it really just stunts your growth, right? It's like a 5-year-old drinking coffee. It just stunts your growth, and we're not going to get to where we want to get to this way. So excited about this. Excited to see you there. And it's at 4:00. Okay. Let's also go over some of your Etsy questions. And one more thing, if anyone would like a free listing optimization, I'll give you that. You just go to Etsio.com and you click on the top right, free trial, and you can get a free listing optimization. If you are struggling with the listing in your shop, maybe it's a listing where you feel like, oh, this should be getting sales, but it's not. Run it through Etsio. Your mind will be blown. Okay. All right. Let's go through some of your questions. If you have any questions, for sure. Here we go. Go ahead and submit them. Here's our Facebook group. If you're not in the Facebook group, looks like there's 13,000 of you in the Facebook group, but I think there's over 110,000 of you on YouTube. But if you ever are curious what's happening in our Facebook group, I'll put the link here. Oh, great. This is a good one. I just launched my shop on May 30th. It's been a week. You're uploading products, but you learn from my videos it has to kick off and start selling within 4 weeks. She just wants views and feedback. Let's take a look at her shop. She is in Australia. Oh boy. Okay. This is a slight problem here. Okay, it looks like you are hand painting ultra fine muslin, Turkish cotton. Okay, so you live in Turkey and Sydney. A couple things here. The way we are displaying this, and I'll make myself smaller so we can see this a little better. Great. Okay. Let me make that bigger. Okay, so the way this is being displayed right now makes me a little nervous because it is kind of giving AliExpress vibes with the cutout background and the text to different font combinations. And then when we scroll down, the different photos we're using here, it just makes me a little nervous that Etsy is going to think that this is drop shipped. So that is a little bit of a risk. Yeah, that is a little bit of a risk. And also at these types of price points, so like $75 for a robe, there's certain things that you're going to want to do to really make your customer feel like this is going to be a good value. Okay. Especially when it comes to any type of textiles. So painting initials, you're going to want to talk about care instructions. Painting while using a washing machine makes me a little hesitant. So I think there's a lot of updates that you'd want to make to these listings. I know you just launched a week ago, but my recommendation would be making the updates now so that you can start to get traction on what's already in here. So I would recommend, what is your name? Fairy. I would recommend no more listings. I wouldn't create any more listings. I would start to fix, well, for sure the banner, and then start to fix your current listings to make you seem a little bit more trustworthy. You need to show more about your process. Are you hand making these, or what is the production situation? Okay. And then one other thing, when we are putting text on things where the text is the selling point, we want to make sure we are not falling into the vanilla Hobby Lobby home goods trap. And that means not falling into the trap of having things that say like fun mom, or just plain bride, or cool dad here. Let the good times roll. I would get a little bit more special or unique or personalized if you're going to use text. Okay. Also on my training tonight, we are going to be talking about your product mix. So one of the keys and one of the steps to this playbook of how to really scale beyond those 5 to 15K months is your product mix. So I'm putting the link for that in the chat if you want to come to this. One of the steps is talking about your product mix that can get you there, because your product mix might be the constraint of your business right now. So definitely, if you feel like, yeah, that might be my problem or one of my problems, definitely come in 2 hours. Okay, so those are some of the adjustments I would recommend making before you add any new listings. And then it looks like you're doing a little bit of print on demand. I would highly, highly recommend going in and focusing on maybe some templates for the designs and the spacing, just to get you some stronger designs. For example, this here, right? We could use something like Kittl, and Kittl has a great AI tool built into it where you can then use Kittl and then make some adjustments. But we want to make sure our spacing is on point, because like this as it is would probably not sell, just because of the text, the spacing, the size, the different elements we have going here. Golf, very trendy, but we don't want to do it in this way. I don't know if you all know Judith March, but she's a great trendy designer. And actually, if you look at one of her collections right now, it's called Country Club, and we can see, we can see how golf is really coming out as a really strong trend. So anyways, but we want to not do it in this way. Okay, so this would make it, it's trendy. I don't know if you guys can see everything here. Yeah, there we go. Right? Do you see how trendy this all looks? Right? This is like trendy golf. We don't want to do like that. Okay. So some updates to be made, but that's okay. Totally fine. All right, if you have any questions, put them in the chat. Otherwise, we'll keep going through some of your questions over on Facebook. Interesting. Always curious the feedback here. Someone here said, how many listings per day are okay with Etsy? I've heard that more than 10 will flag your shop for spamming. Is this true? So funny, someone asked this question on a panel that I spoke on this morning at the Creative Lab Summit. And the answer to this is no. There's not a limit of listings you can publish. For example, if you all know Vella is a great tool that can really sync and automate listing updates across platforms. And you can actually take listings from one shop and then move them over to a completely different shop. And for example, if you are having a new shop, you could do that. And if you even imported like 1,000 listings, it's not going to disadvantage you because you put too many up. It's not at all that way. So don't worry about that. I would not tell yourself that. And if you're throttling back and if you're like, I'm only going to publish one listing a day, you're just leaving money on the table and really limiting and lengthening the time in which you'll get customer feedback. Customer feedback when you're starting out is one of the most valuable things to your shop. It's one of the biggest assets. It will help you move forward faster. So we can't throttle customer feedback by throttling our listings. Get them out as soon as they're ready to be published. Okay. Oh, cool. Stephen, what are we at here? 27 orders, 381% increase. Let's see here. Oh, this is funny. Someone said, can we see the numbers? Yeah, so we actually protect our clients' shops. Because if we didn't protect our clients' shops, then no one would want to work with us because we'd be saying, wow, this person is successful. Look at what they're selling. And then they would just be copied. So we do protect our clients' shops. Let's see. Any other questions? Happy to answer any questions. Let's see. Yeah, happy to answer any questions in the chat. If you have a shop that you would like to have reviewed, happy to take a look at it. If anyone also is curious about Kittle, I have a great tutorial on this. I'll put this in the chat. That's a long link as well. Yeah, so check that out if you want to learn Kittle. Someone asked, is Kittle the new Canva? Which is more user-friendly? I'm hesitant to have to learn yet another software, especially if it's the same level of Canva. I actually think Kittle is a little bit stronger when it comes to creating mockups, print on demand, creating designs, the spacing, their AI tool. I think Kittle is stronger in the designing aspect. So if you're doing print on demand, I would say Kittle is stronger than Canva. Now, if you are doing more like educational templates or planners or things like that, I like Canva still. But for print on demand, for sure, Kittle. This is interesting. How would you wear these? I'm seeing a ton of shops have success with hats too, but so far no one has bought mine. Okay. So I think this design and color scheme is actually kind of cool. This one, now we're going with black. It looks like black and red. I think this is probably a little stronger. This is a little bit more trendy and feminine with the Comfort Colors shirt. And then this is a little bit more of a not as trendy baseball cap style because of a couple of things. A snapback can be trendy, but we're going with like white stitching here. And that actually, when you have different colored stitching, it gives it a little bit of a different look. So just a tip there. I think this is a little more trendy than this one. Okay. Any other questions? Happy to answer. I can also pull up some shops here, but if you are willing to be bold and put your shop in the chat, I'm totally happy to take a look. Someone said, will you ever make another Etsy shop for business or a video? We make videos twice a week. Yes, I actually have all the videos ready to go. I think for my team through mid-August. So we have some really exciting videos coming out. Yes. Always happy to take video requests. Some of you have actually been asking lately how to sell digital products in terms of courses and education and info products through Etsy. Oh, that's so funny. Someone just asked about higher end digital products. So yeah, some of you have been asking about the course side and the coaching side and how to sell a product with a service component. And I mean, that's a very, very scalable model, high margin. However, it's also a higher barrier to entry. So Cora asked a great question here. She says, can you talk a little about creating high-end digital products? Hand lettering and digitizing is so labor intensive. #diminishing returns. Yes, Cora, we could go several directions here. high-end digital products. I am guessing you are wanting to go higher price point digital products, maybe, which to me, there's a couple ways to do this. One would be a volume of items in that. So like a bundle can yield a higher price point digital product. So if you combine a bunch of low price point products into a listing or do like a whole shop bundle, that's an instant higher price point digital products. Or you could simply go with a digital product that is higher value, where it's one product, it's more valuable. And one of my favorite ways to do this is, well, there's a couple. One would be replacing an expensive service with a digital product that is comparatively less expensive. So an example of this would be, let's say, web design. Right? Web design, that's expensive, right? Are you going to get a custom website built for $15,000, $20,000? Or are you going to get a template and edit it? So maybe instead of spending 15 to 20 grand on a web designer, maybe you buy a template for $800 and it's editable, or $100 or $200, and that's probably higher than your current AOV. So that is one thing you could do. So it's replacing a service, something that's traditionally a service that's expensive, with a higher price point digital product. That's a great way to go. Let's see, what else do we have? Of course, there's also things like what I do, which is a course with a service component of private coaching. So you could do that as well. That is very scalable, but it has a much higher barrier to entry. If you ever want to sell a course, you absolutely have to know what the heck you're talking about, because people will smell it a mile away if you are not truly an expert. And if you are creating a course on something that you are not truly an expert in, that will go nowhere fast, and it will be the biggest waste of your time. Okay. And I've seen people do this. I had someone who, they wanted to create a course, and they were trying to figure out what to create a course on. And they were looking at what other people created courses on. And they ended up creating a course on something that they had no experience in. So they tried to learn this thing to then create a course on it. I've seen people do this with Pinterest too. Like, I'm going to take a course to learn Pinterest so then I can create a course on Pinterest. Are you truly an expert, or did you simply learn everything from one course and not actual experience? So if you are looking to do like a high price point digital product that's providing education or value or helping someone save time or make money, that's great, as long as you are a real expert. Yeah. And with that, it's time intensive, labor intensive, but the return is not diminishing, it's compounding. So someone asked, what type of caps would you recommend? Oh, I wish I had that picture here. Where'd the girl's picture go? Oh, here it is. It's on the right. Okay, we just kind of talked about this cap and how it's a little bit outdated with the white stitching. So with something like this, I would probably put that on more of a dad cap style. And if you know, I would probably try to do embroidered too. And I'll show you what it is. That type of hat. I think that would be much more fitting than the snapback with the different colors stitching. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Chasing success, right? When we were talking about, looks like you commented that when we were talking about the taking a course on something to learn it just enough so you could make a course on it, right? You can, the problem with that, by the way, is that like you will not get any one results. And it is actually a little bit of true imposter. It's not imposter syndrome. It's actually being an imposter. Because if you don't have real world experience with something, how can you create a repeatable process that gets real results? You won't. And if people don't get results, if the strategies don't work, or if they only worked one time for this other person's course, like it's kind of like playing the game of telephone. Do you all know that game where it's like you hear something and then you tell it to someone else and then they tell it to someone else? It's like if you are doing that with education, with information and no real world experience, then all you're doing is regurgitating what you think someone else said. But there's definitely communication breakdown. And there's always nuances when you're helping people and you're coaching people and you're teaching people. That's why YouTube videos are not typically the way to see massive success. You know, it can give you a good basis or understanding of maybe a business model, but it doesn't necessarily change. It doesn't necessarily change the trajectory of your business. Generally, YouTube videos. It is, yeah. It's helpful to have someone with experience there. Okay. We have another question. I have about 200 listings, Steve says. 10% is doing very well. Another 30 to 40% is selling okay, but about 50% is not moving. Do you delete after 10 to 12? Oh my gosh, 10 to 12 months, or how long do you give listings that don't move? We are definitely not giving things 10 to 12 months. If it is not selling after one listing renewal, we need to make sure that listing is fully optimized. If it's not fully optimized, then optimize it. And then if it doesn't sell again after a full renewal cycle, then it might be an issue with product market fit. So leaving 50% of your listings in the shop if they are not moving at all is a quick way to hurt your shop quality score. So never leave something 10 to 12 months, no sales. It hurts your shop's total conversion rate, which then impacts any new listing you put out. Because if Etsy sees your shop conversion rate being tanked and really lowered by the half of the listings you have that don't move, then any new thing you put out, Etsy seeing your total shop's conversion rate as a reflection of what the conversion rate is likely to be on that new thing. Even if that new thing is an amazing trendy product that should be at like, a 10% conversion rate, if your average is brought down to less than 1%, that's a problem. Okay. This person says RL Designs. Okay, great. You just picked up a CO2 laser to make stuff for both stock on an Etsy shop as well as doing custom work. Amazing. That's great. My laser was... Here we go. This was my laser. It was like 14 grand when I bought it. But this thing was a tank. Oops. This thing was an absolute tank, very heavy. However, great competitive advantage to having this laser was that's 48 inches. That's huge. Like I could cut 4-foot long things, and that meant I could immediately compete because my competitor had, the tiny little Glowforge. So, yeah. Okay. Anyways, I'm going to put the link in one more time so that you can join my training. So this, just so you understand, tonight, what we're doing in about an hour and 50 minutes is my 3-step playbook. And it's really about going from kind of solo seller mode where you're working in your business on the hamster wheel, maybe stuck or plateaued at that kind of under 15K a month, to really how to explode far beyond that level, to really blow past that stuck point where you're stuck in your business and you're not being the visionary that you should be, and how to get those consistent high revenue months. So this 3-step playbook, we've never done anything like this. I'll put it in the chat. We've never done a training specifically on this before. We're going to be talking about your product mix. We're going to be talking about your team, and we're going to be talking about your sales plan. If you don't have any of those things dialed in, or maybe you are missing one of those things, you need to be there tonight. Okay, it's 4:00 Pacific time, and you just click on the link in the chat and you just click there, and then you can be there and you'll be invited. There will be a recording as well, just in case. But if you do come to the call, you get a couple of really special things. And oh my goodness, I almost forgot to mention, we are doing today, for the first time and probably last time, a very, very special guarantee. And if you have talked to me before, you know guarantees are typically something that, man, if someone's guaranteeing anything to you, run the other way. But we have come up with an awesome guarantee that we feel really, really good about, that we are going to be sharing on this call. We're also going to be giving away a free shop review from myself, which what we'll do is email you after the call, and then you'll send your shop link, and I will make a dedicated video about your shop, not for YouTube or anything. This is just for you to have, so you know really what to focus on next. Awesome. Okay, let's see. Someone asked, any color palettes for the store? I think a lot of people get really hung up on their color palette being their brand. It's like, what is your brand? It's going to be like red and black, or like purple or green, and you get locked into these colors, and the color palette for the store starts to determine and dictate and guide the product mix, which is a huge, huge miss. So what we don't want to do is lock in some color palette for the store. Instead, we want to lock in maybe some tones for the store. Maybe it's neutrals, maybe it's warm tones. But what we don't want to do is like pick like your brand colors, and then everything is only that. It really limits your shop and your creativity as well. Okay, and you'll notice some of the biggest brands, like if you look at Pottery Barn, Restoration Hardware, right? A lot of brands are simply like a black and a cream, or a black and a white. Even Anthropologie, it's like a, right? It's kind of like a, almost a really dark. It's showing up brighter blue here, but it's like a dark blue with a hint of green in it, with black and white or cream, or this light gray. Restoration Hardware, again, right? Very, very simple. So you don't want to limit your product mix with your brand colors. It's one of the biggest things. Kathy, what would you recommend to be doing this month in your Etsy shop? So inside of our community, we are doing something exciting. It is called a 3-month challenge, which is all about preparing your shop for the 4th quarter. And we are in week 2 of this right now. Let's see here. Okay, so this is where it is. Okay, so we had week 1 accountability. We're in week 2 right now. And in here, we have a full prep mode, and you download our accountability challenge, and then you can go through it. It's very straightforward, but it's all about really, you can see we have a sales plan, a spreadsheet, all the dates that you need, your ladder, sales ladder, profit first plan, campaign breakdowns for October, November, December, key dates you need to know, real examples, tips to stand out, and what to submit, because yes, we're keeping you accountable. So it's a 12-week plan where we are guiding you through how to prepare for really Q4. So what you should be doing this month in June for your shop is really looking at what types of customers are you going to be targeting in Q4 in your shop, and who are those people? What are they coming to Etsy for? And even like, you know, late Q3, right? It's not a bad idea to focus on that back to school, August, September. That's not a bad idea either. At this point, we don't want to be doing a 4th of July. We're too late, missed the boat. Yeah, we want to be looking ahead. I think too many sellers get into a cycle of chasing holidays, and we get late on it, and we're behind, and we're creating listings that will inevitably die in 3 to 4 weeks. So we want to avoid that. We want to think a little bit more evergreen. We want to look at what type of customer do I want to sell to in Q4 during that time? And then how can I start serving them now? So that's what I would be doing in your shop. Also, building a sales plan, that's so important. A sales plan, let me show you what ours looks like. I can give you an idea. Here we go. So this is a sales plan. Oops. Okay, so this is like guidance on how to use it. We walk you through a full step-by-step on how to use the sales plan. This is Lauren, our director of operations. And we show you how to use it, what you need to be focused on. And it's really sales and profit. So we're looking at all of your fees, year-over-year growth, ads, labor, shipping fees, cost of goods sold, credit card, inventory, everything. So if you do not have a sales plan and then, your month-by-month strategies for each area of the business, that would be another thing to be working on. Okay, cool. So yes, so a couple of exciting things. I definitely think if you haven't seen the Digital Product Creation Lab, definitely attend that. I'm going to put that in the chat because this is happening now, but you will be able to see my presentation tomorrow. It's only going to be live for 24 hours if you are doing the free version of this. So you want to make sure to attend it. So how to make your digital products look trendy in 2025 without starting from scratch. And then, so that's tomorrow. Make sure to attend that. And then there's a free panel you can come to in the morning and ask a bunch of questions. I'll be on the panel answering your questions. And then we have our own training happening right now. And that is right here. And that is tonight. That is at 4:00, which is a 3-step playbook for really scaling your shop beyond those 5 to 15K months into those 25K months and beyond. So it's 3 things to really focus on. And I'm going to be just like sharing it all. I'm showing you what's working for our sellers because we do work with people who do over a couple $100,000 per month. And the strategies you need to get there are very different than the strategies you need to get to 10K per month. So I'm going to be breaking down 3 steps to really get past that plateau that most people get to around that 10K mark. So really excited for that. I'll put the link for this in the chat and a special opportunity on my thing tonight here. If you join me, we'll be giving away the shop audit and then the special guarantee that I said I would never do, but this one, you don't want to miss this one. Okay, guys, I will see you there. And if you have any questions, as usual, just reach out to our team. Oh my gosh. There we are. Just reach out to the team and we're happy to help. If you have any Etsy questions, that's what we're here for. We're almost halfway through the year, and don't let the last 6 months of the year be determined by the previous 6 months. So let's turn it around if we need to. All right.